Hello YouTube universe and welcome to episode 2 of the United City Randomiser save. If you haven't watched episode 1 then please go check it out, as it will let you know who we are and what we're up to. In this episode we'll catch up with the first transfer dealings of the summer window and we will play our very first league match. Originally I recorded this content to be one long video with the stuff in episode 1, but it was just a bit too long, so I split it into 2 episodes. That will explain why a couple of the things I say won't really sound right. We'll call it new creator error and another thing that I can learn from. Having said all of that, we've got plenty to get through today, so let's get going. So what was a second for you was several hours work for me just to get through the first few weeks of the game and try and change some things about the club. So let's have a look and see what I've managed to achieve so far. So on our home screen, the first thing you can notice is that we have spent a little bit of money. I did put a fair amount of my transfer budget into the wage budget. That's helped in terms of balancing how we can attract players in. We've done quite a lot of transfer work, which I'll show you a bit about in a minute. In the top right you can see we've had some friendlies. I'll show you more of that in a second also as we move down the different options down the left hand side here. So the first section, let's go into transfer activity actually before we go into our squad and just show you what we've done. So this is our transfer activity. You can see that there's a mixture of some bought-in players, some loan players, some free players. We've only spent 2 million in total. We haven't sold anybody yet, but I've moved quite a few of our sort of deadwood into our United City 2 team, just because that will help me in the next week or so to really focus on getting rid of some of those players. So that will happen. I suspect by the end of the transfer window we will have some movement in the out phase as well, just to regain a little bit of money if we can. Nothing has changed in the under 19s. As I say, there's some deadwood in the United City 2 side, but if we go to our main first team squad, this is now what we've got at this point in the game. We've still got a couple of weeks left of the transfer window. I don't know whether there'll be anything more happening, but I'm always on the lookout. So you can see immediately, I think, that we've got a slightly better quality of player throughout the squad. Our defenders have gone down in their star rating in ability terms, but that's because we've just brought better players into the club in other positions and it balanced that out. If we go back into Stefan, you can see that for me now, he's our number 2 left back. We have got, I think, a slight upgrade, but he will get game time in a rotation policy that I'll probably look to use. So our potential first choice left back is now this guy, Michael Perrenson. I think he's just slightly all round a little bit better. As a starting point he's got a bit more experience about him, so we'll look to use him at the start and see what happens. But we've got options now, which is a really positive thing. In terms of who our current better players are, one of our loan guys, this is potentially going to be the star of our show, Dennis Bernick. He's come in as a loan player and he's going to act as our deep lying playmaker in the formation that I'll show you in a second, but I think he's got some really good stats and will run the show for us, I hope. Couple more loan players. We've brought in a couple of new defenders who I think have got slightly better stats than we had previously. So Hannah was one of those. We've got some aging strikers that aren't the best that I've had to bring in just because they were the best options I could find. But I hope in the seasons to come we'll be able to upgrade them quite significantly. But as a starting point, Giuseppe Pisano is not bad. He's a good enough starting point, and we'll see what happens through the season with him and those around him. So there's a little taster of some of the players we've brought in. I'll show you more of them as we go through the games, I'm sure. If we go into our tactics, we've decided to I've decided to go with a 4-3-3 or a 4-1-4-1 formation. And it's a fairly bog standard Football Manager formation, but you can see the different types of role that I want people to play. Excuse me, I had to clear a cough then. But we've got a reasonably strong lineup in terms of our role abilities. I would like to change to another central defender if I can, but we'll see what happens. These are the options that we've chosen in terms of how we're going to play. I'll let you have a quick look at those. But they're not set in stone, and they may change as we progress through some games. Here's the in transition set. And finally, the out of possession. I feel we lack a little bit of pace at the back, which was why I've lowered our defensive line slightly. But again, nothing set in stone. We'll see how that goes as the matches progress. We have changed our staff a bit. We've upped some of the ratings that we've got, but the bit of the staffing that I haven't really finished finalising yet is our recruitment section. So hopefully by the next time you come back, that will be in a better place too. But we're getting there with it. In our team report, you can see that we've got more strengths than we did have before. Still a lot of weaknesses, but at this level of the football, that's, I guess, what we would expect. Nothing really to tell you about in training and in the medical centre. A lot of my staff are taking care of most of that. So here's the friendlies that we had. You can see it's almost broken into two sections really. We had a very poor first few weeks where we were trying to get people to come into the squad, so therefore we were playing quite a weak side at times. We even lost to our under-19s, which was a bit embarrassing, but hey ho, there you go, what can you do? But we did play quite well against Liverpool. We had one or two of our key players in at that point. We lasted about 80 minutes, then they got a set-piece goal and then a very late second goal as well, but we played quite well on that. And you can see after that point things began to turn around as we got our better players in. I'm not quite sure what happened there as to why we lost that one, but all in all, not too bad as friendlies go, and that leads us up to today where we begin our league campaign against FC St. Pauli, which we'll get to in a moment. So if we come to our competitions page, obviously we still haven't played the first round of the cup yet, but if we go into the league table a bit further and then into the season preview, where we were of course 18th before in the season preview, they thought we would get relegated. Now we find ourselves up in 4th in terms of where they think that we will end this season, which is a very good thing. I think that's not bad in terms of what we've been able to do to improve the quality that's in the club. And if I get one or two more signings in over the next couple of weeks, maybe that will go up again. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that one. So if we go to club page, not much more to tell you about here. Same with boardroom. There's not much new to tell you here. Finances are in an okay position. We've still got a fairly healthy general bank balance, which is good. So that's where we find ourselves. That's the club logo and badge, just if I didn't point that out before, which I'm quite happy about. We used the Manchester club colours to just demonstrate that it doesn't matter who you support, you can come and be a big part of a United City on my channel. So that's why the colours were used for that. So yes, there you go. That's where we're at so far. And so let's transition into the game and see what happens. Our first league match. So this is the team that I've decided to go with for the first league game of the season. We've got Langer in goal, Egbert right back, Sprenger and Abu Hanna in central defence, Parensen at left back, Stanko at holding player in midfield, Bernick, who's going to be our creative player in midfield, and Wassi, who will attack from midfield using the Metzala role. Then we have Bertram on the left and Wieland, I think that would be, on the right, and Pisano up front. So we'll just see how this group of players get on. Looks like St. Pauli will be using quite a defensive tactic. They've got a 5-man midfield and a 4-man defence, so that tells you all you need to know about them really. So hopefully we can find a way to break them down. So we'll just go into and give a team talk and wish them all the best and have some fun, try and stay calm and chilled out. for the first game of the season. End that, and then let's go see what happens. We use the 2D match engine, so we kick off, we're in the purple, they're in the red, and we'll see what happens up to our first highlight. This is where it could go very dull, or could get very exciting, who knows. We lack possession in our type of play. I've noticed that during our friendlies, but there's our first attempt at goal, a header that went over the top of the bar, but first attempt, that's pretty good. As I say, possession, we often hover around the 40% mark in our pre-season games, which I'm okay with. It's the style of play that we've got. We won't just tippy tap the ball around. It'll be with some sense of direction that we get the ball and try and move it forward. So if other people have more possession, that's fine, as long as we end up winning games. That's all I really care about. First yellow card of the game to St. Pauli. That's fine by me. They can keep getting them if they like. But as you can see, nobody's really having a particularly good game at the moment. We've had some shots on goal. We've had 2 on target, which is positive. But nothing has come of them yet. So hopefully we'll get another opportunity for a highlight soon. But doesn't look like we will. Looks like we're nearly at the end of the first half and nothing has happened. That's a bit of a dull start to our first game, but at least we're not losing, I guess. So there you go, half-time stats. We got 6 shots on target, on goal, only 2 on target, 49% possession, which we improved on, so that's not too bad. Let's go in and tell them that we're disappointed. I will do that myself. I'll do it assertively. I'm far from pleased from what I saw. Let's kick him up the bum a bit and see whether we can get a better performance in the second half. They all seem a bit nervous, but they've got quality amongst them, so hopefully we can find that goal to really help us. So off we go in the second half, which we of course start. Keep the ball okay to start off with. Then it goes blank. We'll see what happens in terms of the next highlight that comes up. I've got it on key highlights for now. We're having to play on the 2D match engine. Just my laptop can't really cope with anything bigger than that in terms of the 3D match engine for now. But again, we're steaming through the second half and not much has happened. They've got a chance. Oh no, we've got the ball. Can we counterattack? Good sweeping ball over to the left. Bartram brings it through the centre and has a shot that's just wide. But at least we had a decent movement of the ball and got a shot away. We're up to the 64th minute and they have another chance. And at the near post they got to look like a header in. Oh dear. Oh well, that's 1-0 down. So let's pause the game at that point and see if we can make a sub or two and see who we need to change to try and get something out of this game. So let's change our left back, get some energy down the left wing a bit. Nobody's too tired, so I don't have to take anybody off for those reasons. We could take off the yellow card if we think he could get another one, but it doesn't seem to be a high game for cards, so we'll probably leave him on. I'm not happy with our striker. He's not really done much so far, so we'll take him off as well. And we'll bring on Amory Bischoff in place of Wasi. Just another option in terms of an attacking midfield player, which hopefully we can unlock something with those changes. So back to the game and on we go. See if we can get another highlight, or more likely it will just drift to the end, who knows. We've had 9 shots on goal, which is positive, and 50-50 possession, so there are some good things happening in there. I think we just lack a bit of team cohesion at the moment, just because there's so many new players, and that's going to take a while to really sort out. Last 10 minutes of the game. Let's pause again. I'm going to change a bit and go more attacking, and just see if we can find a way to get any form of equalising goal at this point. I wouldn't be too disappointed if we lost our first game, just because, as I say, there's so many new players in the team that it's going to take a while for us to gel together. But it's a little disappointing. Looks like that's going to be the end of the game. Yeah, that's the end of the game. We had a 1-0 defeat. I think in stat terms we did all right, and I would be looking for this group of players as we progress to just become more used to playing with each other, and maybe that's all it will take to get some better results. But I'll let my assistant manager tell them that they were disappointing today. That will hopefully fire them up a little bit and get them in a better place for next game out. But you can see that there's a lot of nerves around there at the point where we're just starting our season out. Hopefully that will change for next time. But that's the end of the game. That's the end of this particular episode. There was a lot of information for you to take in, so well done for staying with it. I'm not quite sure in terms of game time when we'll be back, but probably about a month from now, after I've finished the transfer window completely and played a few more games, we'll come back and maybe do a double header of games. We'll see. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Thanks very much for watching this episode of the United City Randomiser save. If you enjoyed the video, then why not click on the like button, as that would really help me. If you think you know anyone who would really enjoy my Football Manager content, then feel free to share this with them. But most importantly, if you would like to join my United City here on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with my video releases. If you have anything you want to say about the United City save or the channel itself, then feel free to leave a comment below, but please try and be nice with each other. That'll do for today, so until next time, stay happy and healthy, and I will see you soon.